the special scene mode on the Canon R50. What is it? What does it do? And what is it for? I'll be covering all of that in today's video, so stay tuned. So the special scene mode on the Canon R50 is basically a mode that's geared towards beginners. It's a feature that was carried over from the Canon M50, and it basically allows you to choose the different shooting mode for that scene. To get to the special scene mode, you're gonna turn the dial on your R50 to the SCN choice there on top of the dial, and then it'll be special scenes. And one thing to note is that all of these features will only be available for photos, so none of these settings will be able to work on videos. So just keep that in mind. So inside of this menu, it gives you lots of different choices for all these different scenes. I'll be going through each and every single one of them just to kind of give you an overview of each and every one. So let's start from the top right here. It's the self-portrait. A lot of these are very self-explanatory. And if you look on the right side of the screen, it has a bunch of these other settings that you can toggle on and off. So right here, we have the blurry background. So you can set how blurry of a background that you want. And just to let you guys all know, a lot of these settings can be done in manual. So if you know how to use your camera and you know how to use it well, a lot of these same settings can be achieved just shooting manual or any of the other shooting modes. This is a more beginner oriented feature. It gives you a more user-friendly way of getting these settings. So in this example, getting blurry background, it's as simple as, you know, dragging it up and down or auto or whatever. And you also have the option to adjust the brightness. Also, this is not something that can be achieved in settings, and that is smooth skin effect. So want that smooth skin, crank that thing all the way up. And last but not least, you have the option to turn on the touch shutter, which basically when you touch the screen, it'll take a picture. So since it's on selfie mode, it gives you a little bit of a countdown before it takes a picture. All right, next up we have portrait shots. So this is very, very similar to the self-portrait, although I guess it just doesn't have the timer. Let me see, let me do a touch shutter. Yeah. So basically it's almost the same as the self-portrait, but it removes the timer. So like I said, a lot of these settings are beginner oriented. So like if you just want to get in there and start shooting, you know exactly what you want. You're going to take a selfie, boom, move it to the self-portrait. But like I said, most of these things, aside from like smooth skin and like all the other stuff like that, can be achieved in the other modes. Next up, we have smooth skin. It does exactly what it says it's gonna do, which is smooth out your skin. So I don't think I need to go into that too much. Next up is group photo. So this is a new one that was added that was not inside the Canon M50. So if you go inside that one, the camera will auto adjust all its settings so that all the people that are in your group picture are all in focus. Next up is landscape. So it says here wide depth of field, foreground and background in focus, and sharp images. Next is panoramic shots. So this is new in the R50 that was not in the M50. Create a panorama by moving the camera as you press and hold the shutter button. So this one's pretty cool. Many cameras in the past have had this, and especially on your smartphones, they had this feature for a while, but this is pretty cool. So you pretty much hold down the shutter button and just turn, and it'll get this really cool shot. Next up is sport. For shooting subjects in motion, continuous shooting with subjects in focus. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Sports, basically really high shutter speed just to keep the movement in there. And the next setting is going to be a little bit similar to the sports one, but this one is specifically called kids. So for shooting kids in motion, continuous shooting with subjects kept in focus. So the main difference between kids and sports, according to the manual that I have pulled up right here, for sports, it's a mode to shoot subjects in motion, such as runners or moving vehicles, while for kids, it's used to capture active children who are moving around. Skin tones will look vibrant. They're both tracking something that's going to be moving, but I guess in the kids mode, I guess they'll make their skin tones look a little bit more vibrant. So kids scene mode is one of the 3 new modes on the R50. Next up, we have panning. So it automatically sets the shutter speed for panning, reduces subject blurring with compatible lenses. So this is like for example, like cars, I'm guessing. It just reduces blurring from things that are moving. Similar to sports and kids, I guess. Close-up, this is for shooting small objects such as flowers. Shoot as close to subjects as possible. So flowers, very small things, bugs, food maybe. Oh, actually, there's a specific setting for food. So there's a food setting here. It makes your food just look fresh and vibrant. So I've used this several times. makes your food look good. So next up we have the handheld night scene. So this one's pretty cool because it takes 4 consecutive shots and it kind of stacks them on each other to kind of give you like an overall picture. So if you're taking photos at night and you don't really know how to like adjust your settings for taking pictures at night, this is a great setting to have it on because it does it for you. It takes 4 pictures for you and it just combines them all together. The only downside is that in between each shot, since it's taking 4 pictures, it takes a little bit of time for the camera to like process all of that. So if you notice, if I take a shot, it just says busy for, you know, maybe like a couple seconds, but pretty cool feature nonetheless. Next up we have HDR Backlight Control. It retains more detail in bright or dark areas of high contrast and takes 3 consecutive shots. So just like the previous one, if you were very backlit, this will, you know, use HDR to kind of like bring brightness to the dark areas or high contrast scenes. So this one's really cool too. And last but not least, we have the silent shutter. So this is like if you're in a place where you don't want to have like a camera that's like, you know, the shutter's constantly just going off. Although with me playing with it, there isn't a way to really like change the settings. Like it's pretty much going to be on auto, which is a little bit of a downside because sometimes like you know what settings you want, but at the same time you don't want the shutter to be on, but this one's completely on auto. So that's the only thing with this particular setting. But if you just want to shoot auto, completely fine for you, then this is a setting for you. So that was a very quick run through of the special scene mode on the Canon R50. There's also another mode called creative filters. So these ones are a little bit more like wacky. They have like a fisheye filter and a black and white toy camera and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in checking that one out, I'll have it linked right here on screen for you. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have more questions about the Canon R50, definitely leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.